All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. All right, now it's official. Thank you so much for coming. Episode 1 of Wine, Pizza, and Content. We got our panel here. We got the great DJ Clue.
World famous. We got Dave East in the building.
Dave
And of course, the content king himself, Gary V, is in the building. Make some noise, please.
Absolutely. Well, Dave, thank you so much for coming to join us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So 3 out of 4 of our panelists are native New Yorkers. DJ Clue's a Queens man. I'm the boy from New York City. Dave's Harlem and Queens man. Am I right about that?
Yeah, both.
Okay, where'd you start?
I'm holding down the Soviet Union.
Yeah. Gary wants us all to sing the Soviet national anthem.
Like Nikolai Volkov.
Absolutely. Well, Dave, you started out in Harlem, right?
Yeah, East First Avenue, Harlem. Then I lived in Queensbridge and Ravenswood.
Okay. How old before you got out to Queens?
Like moved, maybe like 15, 16, but I was always back and forth with my aunt. That was the reason we went over there. I mean, so we just visited. And then when she passed, I moved in my apartment.
Now, Dave, what made you want to start in hip hop?
And rap, I always loved rap. But like to get serious with it, like when basketball didn't work, and once I knew that was over, I was like, I want to do something that I know I'm going to enjoy doing every day. And I can be my own boss, and I didn't really want to work for anybody.
Now, what would you say is that defined that moment when you was like, yo, you know what? I really think I can really do this and make some money.
Shit. When Nas showed me out, I was like, it's real. Like, you know what I mean? It ain't just my block or just New York City no more. You know what I mean? Like somebody like that speaking on it. I knew I was like about to at least have a career with this shit. You know what I mean?
So how old were you when that happened?
25.
So how did that relationship start? How did you meet with Nas? How did he discover you? How did that happen?
Like I said, I was living in Ravenswood, and me and Jungle was tight, like before I was even rapping. So I would just go to Queensbridge, get my Jamaican food, my weed, or whatever. You know what I mean? Or and I would
Arizona, you get your weed?
I would just go to the bridge and always see Jungle. And at that time, I had like little mixtapes out, doing freestyles. I had like mad ciphers, shit like that. And the hood was talking about it. You know what I mean? And Jungle had called me. He was like, bro, I didn't even know you was rapping. You know what I mean? But I'm never the type to pull up on him like, yo, I want to hear this. Like, I would never do that. So we kind of just heard through the streets about it, and he was like, yo, I put Nas on to this shit. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't sitting with him somewhere listening to my shit. There's no way. That's the reality. But maybe like 2 or 3 weeks after that, Nas' manager called me. He was like, yo, I'm in New York, let's get up. I was like, oh, this shit is real. And then I spoke to Nas. You know what I mean?
Okay, here's the real question. Which current NBA superstar were you better than back in the day? Guys, on a serious note, everybody watching on my stream,
Let me think.
I don't know if Dave saw this, but I had to put
It
some
might not
Dave.
even be like a star right now. Like, it might have fell off by now.
Who'd you yoke on? Guys, Dave was a ridiculously good player. Like a real
Dante Cunningham, wherever he at, I bought on him. Wherever Dante, can you remember that?
Actually, let's go the other way to make it a little relevant for everybody watching.
Right.
Who'd you play coming up the basketball game? Like that whole scene, college, whatever. Who'd you watch or play against or play with that you really knew were going to be where they are today? Kevin
for sure. Kevin for sure. When I first met Kevin, I was in 10th grade, so I was like 16, 17. But he was real skinny, like super skinny. He way bigger than he was like when I met him. You know what I'm saying? But I had never seen nobody that tall shooting like that. You know what I mean? I had to see he was shooting everywhere, man, tall. Like. And then I went to Richmond. We went to Texas. And I'm sitting after our games, we losing like a motherfucker. At Richmond, you know what I'm saying? We get smoked. Like everybody, like I never forget, we played VCU. VCU had Eric Maynard was the point guard.
I remember that.
Larry Sanders. That was the year they beat Duke.
Yeah.
They beat us by like 60 that year, bro. Like some embarrassing shit. You feel me? But every night after we would lose or win, I'm going back to the hotel, back to my dorm, and I'm watching SportsCenter. And Kevin's going crazy. I'm watching this shit like, nah. Because he was nice in high school, like, but I didn't really get to see it until I was away from him. You know, when you hooping with somebody, it's like, you know what I mean? I'm challenging him, he challenging me. But once I got to sit back and watch him in Texas, I said, oh, he would be a star, man. All the way a star. But a few of them, Harden, Westbrook, Jeff Green. I lost the state championship. I went to Springbrook High School in Silver Spring, Maryland, the end of my 11th grade year and my senior year. I lost the state championship to Jeff Green. He had dreads. Yeah, I forgot the school. I think it was Northwestern in Maryland. But I lost the state championship to Jeff Green.
He went to Georgetown, right?
And then he went to Georgetown. Yeah. I grew up with Jesse Sapp. He was from the same side. He was from Georgetown. But a few of them, like the basketball shit is like it's touchy with me. That's why I left it alone, like all the way. You know, I got in the rap and just locked in the rap. You know what I'm saying?
Now with these new contracts, do you ever feel like, yo, man, I have to put the mic down and
get a little 10-day,
get a little 10-day contract. A 10-day contract now might get you about 5, 6 mil, 7 mil.
I might kill us some masterpiece shit. For the Knicks, that'll be a good look. I had to work out for like a summer though. I'm smoked out.
It might be longer than summer. It might be like the summer and the winter.
A good summer, no weed.
Hey Tom, what's going on with the pizza world? Break us down. What's happening here in Made in New York? Like, what are people eating? What are people excited about?
Well, you know,
and because so much of my audience is entrepreneurship, you've been an entrepreneur your whole life. What's the biggest thing you learned from the instant success that this location was?
You know, we're really lucky. It really, honestly, it wasn't a success. You guys know, you're involved with us, and you know, we opened this place 6 months ago. It was
instant success.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I know, really. I mean, like you've done a lot of stuff: Southern hospitality, hunt and fish.
Yeah, of course.
You know, this place opened and it worked right away, and that's okay because a lot of shit doesn't work right away. I'm actually really curious. Because this worked well, and it's always a grind, you gotta maintain it. I'm not saying that, but what was the biggest thing you learned from it working so much better out the gate than you expected?
I think the reason this place worked so well, we had a vision that we stayed clear to. We stayed on our path. This was supposed to be like a great New York product. It was supposed to be like the New York slice shop that you went to after school. It's supposed to represent that place that you were sitting there in your classroom at 2:30, you couldn't wait to go there, and that's what it's supposed to be like. It wasn't supposed to be like the Neapolitan thing. It's supposed to be a great New York product. And I think, I got, my guy Frank, he's back there now. He's like one of the great pizza guys in the industry. I think we were very true to our product. We never deviated. Some people in the media suggested we go in different directions. We never did that. We really believed in it. And thank God we're lucky. Our numbers kept growing and growing, and we're doing really well. It's a great deal.
So I know we were going to do this show, and there's something I've been wanting to ask you that I always forget when we hang out, and it's fun to think about hip hop and basketball because this is such a common thing. Andy, get him down. So,
yo, can everyone be quiet?
So to me, I want to know what your top 5 list. Not in rap, not in basketball. I want to know what your top 5 all-time WWF, WCW, NWA wrestler. I want Eitan top 5. If you don't know, this is one of the great connoisseurs of wrestling. I want to know your top 5.
Were you a wrestling fan, Dave?
Dave, do you like wrestling?
Were you a wrestling fan when you were a kid?
I like Sting.
Sting is a good one. That was a good
That's it. I had the Sting mask, all that.
I want you to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We're talking about greatest wrestlers of all
time.
All time.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Wrestling the moments.
That's the one.
I know, but I need you to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. So one being
Here we
best,
go.
right? Okay.
Team Malenko.
All right. So
I'm waiting for this for 20 years.
I can do this for sure.
Think about your people.
I can do it. I can do it.
Lou, you
I
got
can do it.
your
I can do
top
it. You got the list? Superfly Snooker, number 5.
Okay.
Junkyard Dog, number 4.
JYD.
Ultimate Warrior, number 3.
Wow.
Macho Man Savage, number 2. Ric Flair, number 1. That's my list.
I love it.
I think I would take Junkyard off.
Wolfpack.
Oh,
I like
you're
that.
Dave's a youngster.
Yeah.
Dave's a youngster. He's like The Rock,
I like
Stone Cold, Degeneration. You youngsters.
Yeah. What's your list?
My top 5. So number 5 is The Missing Link.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Green Tongue. That's some nerd shit. I
Yeah.
know you youngsters have no idea what I'm saying.
That's a good one.
Number 4 is Ravishing Rick Rude.
That's a great one.
Super underrated.
Great one. Great one.
Number 3 for me is Ric Flair.
Okay.
Number 2 for me is Mr. Perfect. He was unbelievable. That character. And number 1, and he could be my number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, is Macho Man Randy fucking Savage. For all of you that follow my content, you'll never unsee what I'm about to tell you. When I make 1-minute videos on Instagram, I'm actually doing Randy the Macho Man Savage. I'm just doing a wrestling promotion. When I'm like my cadence is basically Macho Man saying, "This Thursday night at the Civic Center, Hulk Hogan, you're fucked." Once you see me say that, you'll never unsee it.
That's a great list.
I think your cadence need to go up and down a little more. You're going, the Macho Man's cadence is going from
Who saw Macho Man's promo? It just got released. I've never seen it before. There's a video right now on social of Macho Man doing a promo in Spanish. He did the whole thing.
Who saw the rap song he did with 50 Cent? Word? That was not one of the better moments.
I don't remember that
Blue,
one.
back to top 5. He's the wrestling man. Top 5 hip-hop artists of all time.
Oh,
DJ
man.
Clue's
So
top
you want to
5.
do this right now?
Yeah, we're going to do it right now. It's okay. Everyone's got an opinion. It evolves. It's Clue's list today.
This is like your
It
Mount
evolves.
Rushmore.
Because I have my 5, but it's not no specific order.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll let you off the hook.
Okay,
That's an easy way to go.
Yeah, you got 5.
me, I'm definitely gonna go Big, Nas, Jay, Kiss and Fab. That's my 5. That was my personal 5.
You guys got a personal 5.
5.
Dave, you got a 5?
Nas, Biggie, Styles P, Pride Hole, and Seagull, Beanie. I like Beanie.
What about you, Gary?
Biggie. Too Short. Lil Wayne. Bone Thugs and Harmony. 100%. Fucking love them the most. Cleveland's misrepresent. Actually, I can't believe I'm going to say this because I can't believe how much I like him. He's so early, but I fuck with T Grizzly so heavily. I honestly, no joke, and I know it's too early, but I'm telling you, my thing with people, you know, it's really funny when I think about it. Why I love Big and why I love KRS-One, like T Grizzly paints pictures. I fuck with T Grizzly. I think when I know everybody's watching one and I was like, that's fucking early or what? I have a funny feeling 10, 15 years from now, I'll recall this clip and look, I think he's got it like that. I think he can paint pictures.
I didn't put anyone on my list who's anywhere close to clocking out as far as
I get it.
I was thinking more golden era. You know
I get it.
what I mean?
I get it. You know?
Like Method Man belongs on that
You
list.
know how that is. It happens.
I swear to God, I believe he belongs on that list. I think he has a very unique style. Method Man.
I get it.
Wu-Tang changed a lot. Wu-Tang changed a lot.
It's funny. I can't believe you're. Was that out? Like, do people even know that? Okay. I can't. When you told me that you're playing him in this upcoming film, it's crazy. The first time I heard you, that's crazy. Where's Mike Boyd? Mike Boyd, you still? Mike Boyd's here?
Yeah, Mike Boyd's here.
Like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when Mike Boyd's like, hey, I think you'll really like this guy, JB, from Punk. And I listened, literally within the first 30 seconds, I'm like, man, remember I was like, yeah, gives me a little of that Method Man kind of. That was the first thing I texted him back. And then when you told me the other day you were playing him, I was like, fuck. That's exactly how I
I swear, I
felt.
wasn't saying that for any reason.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. When you were a young guy,
That's a goal.
was Nas one of the artists, being you have a relationship, was he one of the artists that when you were a young guy listening to Illmatic, was he one of the artists that influenced the sound that you have now? Would you say that?
Musically, kinda. Like Nas kinda influenced me more like his style. Like Belly was always like one of my favorite movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just the whole character, Sincere, I bought into that. You know what I mean? But I was like, as far as rap went, younger, I was much more into like Mace, Cam, like, you know what I mean? Just shit at home. Like I was just like more into that when I was younger. As I got older, Nas music made more sense to me. You know what I mean? Because as a kid, I knew the hits and shit like that was on the radio. But the deep Nas.
Was it Mace and Cam because of the Harlem influence?
It was, I would say, part of it. But I could see them. You know what I mean? Like I can remember seeing Mace on 25th Street. I remember seeing Cam by the mark. Like I can remember seeing them as a kid, so I could kind of like identify with them more because I seen them. You know what I mean?
I just feel like with Nas, I feel like when he rapped and was talking about something, he'd make you visualize it, see it. His words, that's what made him so crazy with it.
To me, over beats, over everything, to me, anybody, everybody hears different voices, but whoever can paint the clearest picture, you're right. That's why that album is, anybody who can tell a story that you can see is always going to be iconic versus anybody who can make you dance or repeat. It's amazing. It's got a certain shelf life. When somebody tells a true story and everybody, no matter what they come from, can picture it in their head, to me, that is Biggie. The reason Biggie's forever is no matter who you were, when he started talking, like everybody, like literally could picture a poster on their wall. Like, it's that iconic, and I think that is the barrier. When Mike, every time Boyd hits me with new stuff, and that's my whole life, every day, Stallion, like whatever's coming through, I'm always looking for, is this person helping me see it? I can't wait for your new album.
It's on.
Tell them. Because we were just talking, I was like, oh shit, that's what, the two songs that really resonated with me when we were listening were the ones that most made me see it. So tell everybody who's watching and hearing about the new project.
Yeah, I'm dropping my debut album with Def Jam and Massacre, July. I don't have the exact date, because I'm going to drop 2 singles in June. So the first single will be coming out early June, mid-June, and then I'm going to drop the full project in July. But I feel like this is my strongest body of work that I didn't put together. I've been sitting with it. I ain't released no music since Wayne Styles album, Beloved. I just been cooking up, just really sitting with it and just I've been doing a lot of homework, just going back, listening to everybody's first shit.
Oh, first shit?
WH, everybody, that's all I'm doing. First shit. 51st shit. Nori from CNN, I've been just listening to every pun. Everybody's first album, I went and just wanted to just hear their energy on their first album, like how they came out the gate. And just comparing it to my shit.
I want to cut you off. Clue, I want to ask you this. I always thought that the first album was the easiest because you have your whole fucking life and you can tell your story, right? And then it got harder. Do you think it's harder for people like this new generation that has so many mixtapes and other projects that are out before they put out like when I was listening to you, I'm like, fuck, that's interesting. But for a lot of those people from an OG standpoint, their first album was their first work. Now these youngsters coming up, they're putting out music from the get. We're seeing it, and by the time they do their first album, a lot of times we actually know a lot about them. They've already told us about their come up. And I've always felt the second album was so hard because you had your whole fucking life to articulate it. Now you hit, and now people want some shit from you 24 months later. Do you think it's a challenge? It's different now with mixtape culture, with SoundCloud culture. Like, from your perspective as a true historian and OG of this, is it a challenge?
Nah, it's definitely a challenge because, like, if you go on the internet every day, there's 25 new songs coming out from different artists, new artists, and a lot of people are coming out making one song and disappearing. You know what I mean? So it kind of makes it difficult for someone who's been out doing features, doing mixtapes, to drop an album, because like the anticipation, the pressure is just so much more now.
You feel pressure about this album?
Everybody feel pressure about anything.
Yeah, a little bit, but like more so like for the ones that been rocking with me. You know what I'm saying?
You want to come through for that?
Yeah, like this why y'all been fucking with me. You know what I mean? Like that was my kind of mindset going into it. Like, of course I want to appeal to new people, but the ones that been rocking and rolling from day one, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I owe it to them for that shit to be like as dope as it can be. You know what I mean?
Sugarman. Something I think that a lot of people may not know about you, like you successfully launched this signature club in New York City. Like you did. Suede was was the place for a period of time. For again, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people trying to make things happen. After you have such a big hit, do you feel pressure on the next project? Like what happened to you? You know, I think of clubs in New York during that era. We're in a non-club era in New York right now.
Yeah.
But when you were in the game, whoever had the club, that was the king or queen of New York. You had it, but it was similar to like an album or a song. Clubs had shelf lives. You get the 2-3 year run. What happened to you after you were done? After you knew, A, when did you know that you were out of your white heat moment, where you guys were the fucking spot? And then B, what happened next? Because I think it's a super interesting question for a lot of people.
Now, before he talks,
So,
we're talking about the guy who built One Oak and sold it. It's true. Built One Oak,
Yeah.
it was done and sold it.
Yeah.
one of the great mistakes of all time.
It wasn't a mistake. It was, you know what it was, honestly? I knew my heart wasn't in that space. I knew it wasn't. I was opening up Southern Hospitality. I wanted to do that. My partners wanted, and you know what, honestly? I didn't have it in me to do another club. I did it for all those years.
Jason was with me today with a group of entrepreneurs. I was doing something, and I told him the only time I've lost meaningful money in my business career was when I was raising a $150 million fund, and one day I woke up and realized I wasn't into it, and I gave everybody their money back.
Yeah.
It's a huge lesson for everybody who's watching. When you actually know, Ace, I know you do a ton of shit, I see you shaking your head. The biggest mistake that people make is they start doing something, they tell everybody what they're going to do. You actually said something once about a project, like when you know it's not right, no matter what you told the world, no matter how much money you're in, never see it through if you know it's dead.
See, that's the flip side of success and failure, right? So you just asked me why this place did well. It was because my heart was in it, I had a path, and I knew. My heart wasn't in that. You know, the guy who owns this with me is my partner, Lonnie. We own One Oak together, too. We both looked at each other, we both knew our hearts weren't in it anymore. We didn't want to do it. I don't think we would have been successful. The guys
Oak wouldn't be what it is today.
Yeah,
if you guys,
you know what? The guys who we gave it to, good friends of ours, Richie Akiva and Scott Sardiano, they did a great job. I'm so proud of them. I love them. And, you know, we did well on our own. And it's just, you know, I think you have to know when your heart's not in that game anymore. So we had a great run. We made money. Everything was
go back
awesome.
to the question. When did you know, when did you know it was over?
I think we knew that we didn't want to be in that space anymore. I think it reflected in the business because we didn't want to do it anymore. We're both.
How long were you doing it at that point?
4.5 years.
And that's every fucking night.
It's hard, man. It's long hours. It's getting home at 7 a.m. The truth is, and you know, it probably, I hate saying this because his son is in the room, it probably cost him his marriage, and it probably cost me that relationship, and it takes a toll on your life. It's a lot. It was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. We made money. We, you know, we had fun for sure.
This is before everyone was buying 10, 20 bottles at the table.
Well, that's
listen, it was great. And listen, Clue was there, and we had the best times. But
you know what's crazy about Clue being there? He looked exactly the same that he looks now. Everybody's Clue. You have literally, forget black doesn't crack, like that is known, but you actually haven't aged in 20 fucking years. And I'm a little bit concerned about it. Dave, when Dave was like 6, and a fan of you, you looked exactly the fucking same.
You know what's terrible?
What?
There's a picture of like 20 of us, and it's like me and Clue and Biggie and my daddy.
Yeah.
Clue,
Everybody looks like
we
shit.
all look old as hell except for Clue. Like we all now, they look at us like, what happened to all of us? And
Honestly,
Clue looks the
that's why
same.
everybody laughs.
Crazy.
Can you please tell the world what the fuck?
don't know, man. The genes, I don't know, bro.
Is that running your family like that?
Yeah, I don't think so.
It must. Look how beautiful his daughter is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's an age, man.
Yeah.
Looks like he's
You got the secret, man. You gotta put that out.
So you when did you know? Like you just knew it yourselves?
Yeah, I just knew it. I just knew my heart wasn't in it. My partner's heart wasn't in it. We looked at each other. We knew. And that was it. We opened up Southern. Southern was a big success. The other things we did really worked out well. And like I said, that's the other side of success. It's just knowing when you kind of run your course, it's time to pivot, kind of time to go on and do something different. And that's what we did.
Dave, let me ask you a
Just
question.
like I'm sure Dave knew it was time to, basketball wasn't his path, right?
It was over, man.
He got kicked the fuck out. That's how he knew.
So he knew.
They said, "You're off the fucking team, motherfucker."
Right? You knew.
That's how you knew.
Yeah,
That's a little more obvious than that.
Forget the team. That's get the fuck out of the state.
For campus and leave.
Dave, on that note, like when I think about the four of us, and I just have a lot of context here, something I've been thinking a lot about the last 6 months is why do people know sometimes the second they meet somebody that it's like forever, right? Like if, looking at all the faces right now, sometimes you just meet people and like, oh, I'm just gonna be friends. Like I'm gonna be friends with this person for the rest of my fucking life. Like, talk to me about that. For actually, all three of you. Like, I don't know why this has been so in my mind lately, but like. When I say that, I know how, like, I know you two better, we get to know each other real well, like, what do you think that is? How do you think about that? When I talk about you, literally, and I know my team's here, and as I introduced you to them 3 years, I don't know if I know of a better friend on earth than you.
Thanks, buddy.
No, but you really, I think you know this about yourself, you know this about
Don't gas him though.
But I'm going to gas him a little bit, because I have a selfish question for the audience, which is, you take a lot of pride in being a great friend.
Yeah.
Like a lot more than normal people. Now back to my question. What do you think that is when people meet somebody? And how do you think about it? And what are the efforts you put into it? Because I think relationships are like truly the foundation of the game. And I think a lot of people are missing it. And I think a lot of people are looking for short-term ROI. They meet somebody that they know got something going on. And rather than building a real friendship, they want them to post them on Instagram and tag them, and that's already kills the friend. Like, I think people are short-sighted. I think you're great at the long game, and more importantly, what happens to you when you recognize one of these people? Because you have a lot of them in your life, but not a lot of them compared to how many people you meet.
Well, let me explain. I'll turn that on to you. I see you do that for strangers. What's the impetus for you to do that? When you see, I see people that you see on your show that they tell you that they're in some kind of peril and they need some kind of help. And I saw that one guy on your show said he needs $15,000 to get. This is a stranger. You didn't even know if what he was saying was truthful. You're like, good, you got it, it's yours. What makes you be that person? What's the impetus that makes you want to be that person?
For me, it's intuition.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I'm sure maybe in some weird way. So here's my big thing. I always start with yes. I'm always like, yep. Like, I'm so not scared of anybody taking advantage of me. I'm so not scared of being wrong that I always start with yes. I meet somebody and I'm like, yeah, I got you. Or like, let's do it. Like, I'm just not scared of failing. And so I'm optimistic. And I think too many people are insecure and they're scared to get got. So they're just in, like my dad. Listen, you know, I love my dad with all my heart, but he's in the no business. Everything's no. Because he comes from a culture in the Soviet Russia, like fuck, like to him, like getting tricked or somebody like doing wrong by him is like a death. Right. For me, if somebody fucks me, that's their loss. Right. Like it's that, I don't know if it's Bronx Tale or whatever that movie where the guy's like, only $20, you got off easy? That's how I feel. If somebody's stupid enough to not know what the fuck I'm up to, that they're trying to get me on the short, on the quick, they fucking lost, because if you roll with me in perpetuity, you're gonna fucking win. And so, I think it's just self-confidence, but that's a little bit different than when I met you at that wine tasting, where I went home, like, brushed my teeth, looked at my wife, I'm like, I made a friend today, which is rare. Like I knew I was like kind of corny, I wanted to deliver it in a corny way, because it doesn't happen often. It happened to us at the Knicks game. We were talking, but like, sometimes you just know that this is not we're gonna check in every 2 months.
Let me ask you another question. So, Dave and I are killing this
That
wine.
shit good.
This is badass.
Right?
This is badass.
I like it.
Yo, clip that. And run that.
Yeah.
So the commercials, all hip hop fans, swipe up. It's all over. Dave said it's good.
When we met, you were primarily in the wine business. It took you a long time to finally put out your own wine.
Yep.
I know how many offers you got to do this, and it took you a really long time. Why now? You tell me about this. I'm loving
Circumstance.
it.
I have two partners in
Dave
this
and I can
business.
drink this whole bottle.
I have two partners in this business, John Troutman and Nate Schroeder. They've been with me for a decade. They were interns at Wine Library. They worked at VaynerMedia. The company was getting bigger. They were lieutenants. They mattered. But what they were doing wasn't like, if I pulled them out, the whole company, Vayner, would still run. I saw that as a great thing. This is back to yes versus no. You got some senior people. They're good. Oh shit, if I pull them out, nothing would happen. People get upset about that. They're like, fuck. I'm like, good, let's go on offense. Direct-to-consumer brands have been blowing up the last 3 years. Everybody knows Lola, Gymshark, Fashion Nova, like that whole world. Just felt right. I was like, I trust these two lieutenants. I know how to build a brand. Our influencer marketing game is on point. Our media is on point. The whole VaynerMedia machine is a front to build brands. So, in gut feeling.
It's killing it. It's a great product, man.
I appreciate it.
Very proud of you.
Thank you.
So, let me ask the people at the table something. So,
And actually, we're about, real quick for everybody, we're about to go into Q&A.
absolutely. So, whoever's got a question,
We're about to go.
let D-Rock know.
Who's
You
got
can
the
come
mic?
forward. You can ask another
Tyler's got the mic
question.
in
Yeah.
that? All right.
Three of us are New York guys. Gary, you're a Surrey. We'll let you in. You're a New York guy.
I'm Jersey, baby.
Yeah, you're a big Jets fan. We got a Jets player in the house.
I shall name it on my show.
I know, I love that.
Fuck you.
Broadway Joe. Pretty
That's
great.
cool.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
Dave, let me ask you a question. What do you think growing up in New York, what did that mean to you? What did that play into your artistry, as to who you are as a man? What did being in New York mean to you?
You know, with me, it was like I always had family out of town, so I would see just me being from New York, my influence on them, and just how excited they would be about everything. The way I talk, whatever sneakers I had on, whatever clothes, like it was like they was living in another planet. I'm like, this is regular shit. Like this is what we, you know what I mean? This is how we dress, this is how we talk, this is what we eat. Like, so it always let me know like New York was a it was just a different. I know being from here was different to the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no disrespect to where nobody from, but I knew being from New York, I had kind of an advantage to the world. You know what I'm saying? Because just growing up in New York.
Yep. It's true.
Just growing up
I
in
don't
the
think
city.
people, David, I apologize. I don't think people understand the delta between New York and everybody else.
Right.
I love when Boston and Chicago think they're close.
Right.
They're fucking confused.
New York attitude is different, and just me moving around, you see that, and you start to really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like you go out of town, everybody's so nice. Hey, I like hearing the cab. Fuck you. I like that shit. Like after you used to that shit, I like that friction, that tension is high. There's too many motherfuckers
Because
around.
it's easy for you to go
I like that
anywhere
shit.
else, whereas if somebody's coming from somewhere else, it's hard to come
Coming
in.
here, exactly. New York can eat you up. You don't know where you coming to. Like, but if you from here, I always say if you can make it to New York, you can go to fucking Sudan. You go anywhere and get it.
Your idol Frank nailed that one.
Your peripherals is just on point. You just see somebody over your shoulder.
You just show you used to shit. Like, you be on point.
Is this the greatest city in the world? No. Is there any doubt? Is this the greatest city in the world? No doubt.
The greatest. Can't duplicate New York.
Gary, what does it mean to you?
I think, I was fucking jumping in and cutting everybody. Like, I think I genuinely believe what I'm saying, which is there's massive confusion between the delta of New York and guys, Los Angeles is over at midnight. People are wrapping up. They're driving on the freeway. Like I don't even want to talk about. Like, listen, I love Chicago. Boston, I think Boston's Connecticut. Boston isn't even on my radar. Like
Who from Boston in here? You know where from Boston in the building?
Keep your hands down.
I think what New York has, and here's why I'm saying it. It's actually not coming from trying to razz people. New York has acceptance.
Yeah.
New York has acceptance. Go Go take a camera and just walk up and down New York, watch 800 different fucking looking people, and nobody even reacts. That's called acceptance. New York is the true in a world where I wish we had acceptance everywhere. And with China's exploding, right? Beijing and like China's exploding, but like what New York will have is a true acceptance, no matter what you look like, how you roll. Like it's just normal. Look at the fucking people in this room. Like it's normal. All different shit. It's the fucking best, and there's no fucking close second.
If New York was a soda, New York would be Coca-Cola. It would. Anywhere you go, you see that red with the stripe, you just know what it is. If you see somebody walking on the street in LA and they have a New York cap on, you're going to be like, they from New York?
No, just like that.
It's just that respect that come with it.
It's like a fraternity. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Happy birthday to Big.
You're a real, like...
Bro, I'm the boy from New York City.
You are you love, but you love New York 1957. Like you love 1973.
You know what? Not necessarily that. I love what it was when I grew up. It bothers me.
You're nostalgic.
Yeah, for sure. It bothers me when I walk through like neighborhoods that I knew, and I see stores that used to be owned by like, you know, amazing mom and pop, and now it's like a Starbucks. That bothers me. But it's still the greatest city in the world. It's still, to me, the cutting edge of the world. It still defines fashion. Still defines, you know, culture. But yeah, for sure. Do I miss the way it was? We all miss it. But but listen,
But you know
everything
what's funny about that? That's what the last generation said too.
Yeah.
You know when we have
I know,
drinks,
we
always talk about it, I'm like, yeah, but the people in 1920 during the Roaring 20s thought your 1980s New York was soft as fuck. That's true.
You know what's funny, when I talk to my sister about this, my sister always says, she goes, it sounds like what you miss is the New York we grew up in, when people getting shot in the streets and heroin addicts, and you know, I kind of miss the grittiness of it a little bit. I don't. It's the Starbucks and Chase Banks don't do a lot for it. But you know what?
Just FYI, that's still happening. You just don't hear about it.
I guess it's just not so Clue, what does being a New Yorker mean to you?
I mean, I tell everybody all the time, man. New York is like the hustle capital. You know what I mean?
Where's
It's
your
like,
Giants at?
it put that hustle battery in your back and that mentality to go get it that you just can't get other places. That's why you see so many people move to like other states and they end up coming back because it's like, yo, I couldn't make no money out of it. Yeah, you can't. Everything closes at 9 o'clock.
All right, let's do Q&A. Who's got a question?
Who's got a question? Who's got a question?
Got
a mic? Got a young lady up front.
I have a question for Gary. It's a business question. What would be your
Put up your mic here.
what would be your biggest piece of advice for someone that's trying to scale from multiple 6-figure business to a 7-figure business? What is your, I guess, differentiator between a multiple 6-figure business under the 7-figure?
I think when I hear that question, the first thing I would tell you is to not think about becoming a 7-figure business. I think what got you to 6, ironically, is almost always what gets you to 7. The only difference is you just gotta wait. I mean that. I mean, like, look, now, without looking under the hood of your business, what is it? New product offerings, charging more. Biggest mistake that people make is they don't charge more when they have demand, right? Like, I see it all the time. Not innovating. You did something cool at first, but now everybody's doing it, so now the money's spreading out. You're impatient. It's just theory. Like, I started with this. You're doing 6. You're actually on your way to 7. It's just going to take 29 more months, but you want it in 9 months instead of 29. So those are the 3 cliches. Are you charging